we know that
16,000 people packed into a stadium built for just 5,000, and not a single one of them was ready for what they were about to witness. Indian Wells, March 8, 2025, one of the most electric atmospheres in tennis, and right in the middle of it, a 20-year-old Filipino player was having the match of her life. Alex Eala had just dismantled the world number 4, breaking serve repeatedly, winning 5 games in a row, taking the first set 6-2, and cruising in the second. She was supposed to be celebrating, soaking in the moment. Instead, what unfolded next left the entire tennis world stunned, and it had nothing to do with the scoreline. Because what made this story different wasn't who won, but what happened after the match, in the quiet that followed the noise, in a gesture so unexpected and deeply human that it went viral, not for drama, but for its sincerity. To understand why it mattered so much, you have to go back to the beginning, to a simple Instagram DM that most players would have ignored. Before Eala and Coco Gauff faced off at Indian Wells, they were doubles partners at the Italian Open. Eala needed a partner and could have chosen the safe route, but instead she messaged one of the biggest names in women's tennis. Gauff, a 2-time Grand Slam champion and former world number 2, could have easily ignored it, but she didn't. She said yes. On the clay courts of Rome, they built something beyond tennis, reaching the quarterfinals together, laughing between points, and forming a genuine connection. After Rome, the messages continued support. After losses, congratulations. After wins, inside jokes only they understood. By the time Indian Wells came around, they weren't just competitors, they were real friends. That context is everything. Without it, what happened next might seem like simple sportsmanship, but it was much more. On match day, the atmosphere inside Stadium 1 was electric. Eala came in with serious momentum, fresh off wins over top players like Mira Andreeva, Madison Keys, and Jelena Ostapenko. She wasn't just a rising talent anymore, she belonged. Against Gauff, she played fearless, aggressive tennis, dominating from the start, taking the first set 6-2 and leading 2-0 in the second. It looked like a statement win until everything changed.
I don't even remember the last time I saved match points, so probably when I was like 15, but yeah, I'm really happy to get through today. It was a long one. I know you guys I know you guys are probably here for Alex, so I'm sorry to
Gauff walked to the net, not to challenge a call, but because she couldn't continue. Pain in her arm had become unbearable. After a brief medical timeout, she made the rare decision to retire. The stadium fell silent. Eala stood there, caught in an emotional limbo, technically victorious, but without the closure of a finished match. Her expression said it all. She didn't look like someone celebrating the biggest win of her career. She looked conflicted. She walked over to Gauff slowly, listened as her friend explained, apologized, and simply stayed present. That moment mattered, but it wasn't the defining one. In her post-match interview, Eala did something unexpected. Before talking about herself, she addressed the crowd and said, "Happy Women's Day, March 8th International Women's Day." Then she spoke about the women who paved the way in tennis, those who fought for equality, respect, and recognition. She pointed toward Gauff and thanked her not just as an opponent, but as a role model and a friend. She thanked her for the support, for the example she set. Then she turned to the crowd, found her mother, and wished her a happy Women's Day too, acknowledging the constant support that carried her through the highs and lows of the sport. The crowd erupted not out of politeness, but because they felt it. It wasn't a speech, it was real. But even that wasn't the moment people would remember most. After the cameras faded and the crowd began to leave, something quieter and far more powerful happened. Eala walked back across the court to Gauff, who was still there, arm-wrapped, processing the frustration of an unfinished match. Ella reached into her bag and pulled out a small trophy one she had earned at the ASB Classic in Auckland just weeks earlier. It wasn't a grand slam or a major title, but it was hers, and she gave it to Gauff. She reportedly told her, "I want you to have this. You helped me get here. Your message before my first WTA quarterfinal meant everything." Think about that. She didn't just offer words. She gave something she had earned, something meaningful, as a way of saying thank you. Gauff, touched by the gesture, responded that Eala would win so many more trophies she wouldn't even remember this one. Then they hugged. Not a quick, routine embrace, but a real one, filled with emotion. Someone captured the moment. Then more people saw it. Within hours, it spread everywhere. The internet reacted the way it does when something truly genuine breaks through. People felt it. Because this wasn't staged. It wasn't PR. It was real. It was a young athlete showing gratitude in the most meaningful way she could. That's what sets Alex Eala apart. Not just her talent, but her emotional awareness. She walked into Indian Wells with momentum and left having shown the world who she truly is. For Gauff, this could have been just another story about injury and disappointment, but instead, it became something bigger. She remained gracious, warm, and supportive, and Eala responded in kind. Together, they turned a moment of frustration into something unforgettable, in a sport often defined by rankings.
Thanks so much, Petch. Alex, great job out there today. First match in these high altitude conditions.
Yes.
How did it feel?
It felt great. I think the intensity was really high throughout the whole match, so I'm really happy to have been able to pull through. Yeah.
You were fantastic on your serve today. You won 76% first serve points, saved 5 out of 6 break points, so you put yourself in good position. What did you do particularly well on your service games?
I think that was one of the things going into the match that I really had to focus on was a good percentage of first serves. I know Anastasia is a big hitter, so I think that helped with my match today, and yeah, a lot of focus.
As you continue to play more on the clay, I know you seem to be very happy to be back on the clay. How was your relationship with the surface at the moment?
It's getting better every year. I think, in general, I'm a better player this year now at this moment than I was last year. So I'm really confident with that. I've had